hard to have these hopes and dreams, especially when I got.
Hey guys, Mr. Game here. Welcome back to another video. Today what we're going to be doing is an episode, or a first episode of Honest Reviews. Now this is going to be my first ever episode of Honest Reviews. Honest Reviews is going to be a new series that I do where if a new game comes out or a beta or anything that I want to review or give you guys my opinion, my personal opinion on, I will be doing so. So today on Honest Reviews we have Battlefield 1 beta. Now, obviously, this game had a hype level of insanity. Like, when the Infinite Warfare trailer came out, Battlefield, it blew up. It really did blow up, and everyone was so hyped for it. And in all honesty, it doesn't live up to the expectations that everybody thought it was going to do so. And although I am enjoying it, I do think that there could be some improvements. Now, today we're going to be looking at the good points and the bad points. If you guys would like to leave a comment down below what your opinion on this game is, I'm actually playing it a lot. It just draws me back every single time. It is a good game. But yeah, so we've got a couple of points that we're going to do. First off, we have graphics. Now, I don't really need to say anything. Graphics are just stunning. The weather change. When the weather is there, it looks amazing. The destruction graphics, it's just, the fire graphics are just immense. Like, the graphics are just so good on this game. That part of it is 10 out of 10. Right, now let's go on to game modes. This is a little bit annoying because, well, on one side you have a very good game mode, which is Conquest, I think it's called. I've gone completely blank. Then we have Rush. It's not. It doesn't work. It needs improvement basically. Because as much as it's an okay game mode, in certain ways there is way too much vehicles. It is a 12v12 player map, and with 3 tanks on there, it's just ridiculous that someone could literally just go over to a tank and you could basically wipe out an entire team. Whereas on a 64 player game mode, it's not going to be a problem. So that aspect of it could be changed, or that could be kept, and we could in fact increase the player amount to probably around 32 players in overall, which I think would probably be the better option for Rush, as I do think it is a good game mode. It has potential, it just isn't as good as Conquest. So for that, we're going to give it a 7 out of 10. Yeah. For guns, the guns are good. The guns are very good. It takes a lot of practice and skill. This game takes a lot of skill, and the guns in it are part of that. You need to learn when to stop firing, because aim, accuracy, if you want it to be on point, you have to kind of do a CSGO approach and just tap. That's what I've learned anyway, and that's my tactic of playing Battlefield. And although I may not be the best, because I really am not very good at this game, to be honest, I do think it is very entertaining. The guns just work so well, they're so smooth, so just well working. Pistols to sniper rifles, the reload animations, just everything related to the guns is pretty good. Obviously, I want to see more variations, different guns, obviously, stuff like that, just because it needs, it's going to be refreshing to me when I get the actual game. Compared to now, where I'm kind of a bit bored of the same old SMGs and things like that. Obviously, I'm making changes to snipers. Snipers are just amazing. The sound effects of every gun is just brilliant. For that, 10 out of 10. Just 10 out of 10 for that. Guns, well done. Glitches. Hell, is there a lot of them. Now, I know this is the beta, and a lot of you are probably just going to be like, it's the beta, that's what they're for. They are for. And I am taking that into consideration, but the amount of glitches in this game. Now, obviously, a day ago, they did do an update for the game, and that actually fixed a lot of them, but it's mainly to do with the Frostbite engine, I think. When people die, like their gun on their belt, their ammo packs, they always move. Well, not always, but they can have like a glitchy effect, and it just kind of little bits like that just put people off. It puts me off. It just doesn't. It takes away the feel of the game, really. And also there was one glitch on mine where a horse, when it's going up to gallop, it literally stayed up with its two feet upwards and it just flew around the map. It was so stupid, and little things like that just are gonna put people off. And just there's been like instances where people are going at like 5 miles per hour in a tank, and they'll go into a little rock and it'll blow up. The tank will just blow up, which I think will put a lot of people off, especially if you're not really used to the Battlefield kind of glitchy side, and it will literally just put people off the game. But yeah, that is for glitches. I can't really rate glitches, but there is a lot of them, so just bear that in mind when you're playing. Next up, we have maps. Now, this is something that's kind of irritating me, because on one side, I really enjoy the map, and on the other, there could be so much more to the map. Now, what I mean by this is, when playing for the first ever time, I was like, whoa, this map is huge. It's the biggest map in Battlefield history, which is really big. However, after playing the game for a bit, or just actually looking at what's on the map, although it's a good map, and the town part of the map is awesome. It makes for some really good gameplay where you're having close quarters battles. People are using the melee attacks, people are using melee weapons, and on the other side of things you have snipers who are just sitting out and trying to get you. However, this map has more potential than it does at the moment. From basically A to B, I would say it needs more cover. If you're going from that place to that place, you're always going to get picked off by a sniper, just purely because there is no cover in that area. Barely any stones. The only way you can make cover is by blowing up a hole in the ground, which just isn't really the best option for cover. So for that map, I would say they really need to actually add some more options for cover. And also from basically E is just basically a wasteland. It's just, there's nothing there. No one's ever going to touch E unless you're in a plane. It is really, E is kind of a more aerial zone, I would say, because you can capture it while you're in the air, which I think is a very good feature, because otherwise E would probably not be touched. But yeah, it just kind of needs a bit more cover in wasteland areas. From E to other places as well, you are definitely going to get picked off by a sniper, so it just needs to be improved on that side of things like that on the map. And also kind of spawning on this map isn't brilliant. If you spawn at B and the enemy team are capturing it, you basically spawn out in the middle of nowhere, which is very, very bad, because if you spawn in the middle of nowhere, you will get insta-snapped by a sniper. And that's why I think it needs very, very much more rocks, just things that you can get behind, hide behind, anything along those lines. So for that, I'm going to give this map and the other map that we have seen so far, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Vehicles in this game are very, very good. I've got to say, I really love the feeling of them. I'd say the best tanks to use are probably actually the singular tanks, and they're just, it's purely because you can just control it. It's a beast. The feel of the guns, the way I'm not really sure what you call them. They like turn really slowly on points, and you can just shoot massive bullets. They move slowly, which is good because it's kind of how it should feel. Planes, just the way they move. You have to be strategical with the way you fly around the map. And gunfights in the air, they are very, very good. Like, the amount of times I've crashed into people, however, they do need improving. You can fly a plane sometimes into the side of a cliff and it will not blow up. It would just literally fall down. Same with if you crash into people, it's kind of a little bit broken, the hitboxes and things like that on them. I would also say horses, the hitboxes on their swords are a little bit off. Just if I swing my sword, it will kill people if they are behind or even in front of me. I just think that needs to be sorted, because that is a little glitchy, which I think needs to be sorted. But apart from that, horses, they are so cool to I've had collaterals with the sword. I've just swung and took out 2 people. It is so fun, quite refreshing for a FPS shooter. and I can't really fault that. So, bar the little glitches, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. The vehicles. Okay, and little bits, we have sound effects. I can't really fault them. They are just 10 out of 10. Always in Battlefield games, they just are outstanding. The weapons are very, very balanced. A lot of people have been complaining about this, but I do think weapons are balanced. You just need to learn how to use them and what gun basically fits your playstyle. Medics, that's a little bit of an issue for me. Because people don't really use them unless you really like the gun. But if you like the gun, people are not picking, like, it's a pointless feature, to be honest. Like, no one picks you up. I haven't been picked up. I haven't seen anyone pick anyone up at all. People just, there's no reward for it, so except for points, you're not really gonna get anything from it. It's just a little bit like there needs to be something there so people will actually revive you, because at the moment no one is reviving anyone at all. And also destruction in this game is very good. It's not over the top, it's downscaled, which I think is good. The amount of times I've used it to my advantage, I've just chucked a grenade at a wall, blown it up, seen enemies, bang, dead. It is very, very good, and it changes up the map as you go along. Obviously, at the beginning, in the town, around sea, there's a lot of cover in the houses. As the game goes along, it will be less and less cover, and you'll have to change your playstyle and things like that. So, for that, destruction is a very solid 10. Also, annoying little things, we have melee. Now, in my opinion, the melee is a little bit strange because obviously you can do the animation for melee from the front, back and side. I would like to see it a little bit just from the back and sides, so it's a little bit like a sneak attack. I think the way it goes when you're forward, sometimes it does the melee action, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it just hits them, and that can actually get you killed. I've been killed multiple times because the animation hasn't started and it hasn't done it effectively, so it's just, that is a little bit annoying. Also, spawns, as I've mentioned, they will spawn you out of the map into bare wasteland, and you will probably pretty much get shot down by a sniper. Overall, though, I think the map and the beta is a very, very addictive, fun game if you can get into it. I think the bayonet charge as well, that is an outstanding feature. Although it's a little bit tedious that, like, now people are starting to know how to use it. Like, for me, for an instance, I actually use it very much just for speed. I will use it, run around people, they will get really confused, and I will just pop them from the back. I think there needs to be a bit of a cool time for it because people are just overusing it. Just bang it, get one, bang, get another with the bayonet charge, and I think it needs to have a cooldown, or even just as a class. Like, it needs to be as a sort of add-on to the class, because I think it will be a little bit overused and a little bit tedious. But overall, I'm going to give a Battlefield an 9 out of 10 because it is a very good game. I'm excited for the main game. But yeah, guys, that is all from me, so please like, subscribe, and episode out.